Get ready, get ready, get ready. Hold on to your hat, fasten your seatbelt, and tie down your wig. You're tuned into the Kathy Brooks Show, where you will gain the knowledge to unleash your superpower. At the Kathy Brooks Show, you will be challenged. You will be inspired to action. You'll be given practical tools, and you will be transformed. Hello, everybody. How y'all doing tonight? You have entered the Kathy Brooks Show. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh, I'm so happy to be here today. I'm so happy for you to join me, and I am ready to go. Are you ready? I hope you're ready. I hope you're ready. Let's get going. Let's get going. Let's get going. All right. So, first thing I want to talk about is I want to introduce you to me. My name is Kathy Brooks. As you know, this is the Kathy Brooks Show, and I want to talk about who I am. To get started with this circuit, first I want to let's just thank let's thank the producer for this opportunity. Let's thank you for showing up and giving me a little bit of your time. What I first like to do, I always start with like a quote, which will kind of set the mood. And the quote I have is, "You have a unique potential that only you can cultivate and become known for." So that's our quote for tonight. So let's get started. Let's talk about who is Kathy Brooks. That's an interesting question. While doing promotions for the show, one of the first questions I get is, who is Kathy? Where did you come from? And why did you decide to do radio? And why did you name it the Kathy Brooks Show? And what is the premise of the show? So let's start with that. So just to let you know who I am, we'll talk about who I am. Again, my name is Kathy Brooks, and I'll tell you a bit about who I am. First of all, a couple years back, I'll tell you my story and what led me to be here today. A couple years back, I went through a challenging time when I separated from my husband, and during that time, I became homeless. Well, semi-homeless. My sister took me in, so I spent. I have 3 kids. My children and we ended up at my sister's home, and what I thought was going to be a 6-month to a year recovery time ended up being 3.5 years. So I spent 3.5 years on my sister's couch. And I tell you, during that time, it was difficult. It was difficult because I was dealing with all the things that had happened. I lost everything. I lost my job. I used to be a consultant. I did a lot of project management, SAP consulting. I traveled every week. I was in the airport going from city to city. So it was a big change. My life turned upside down, and everything was different for me. So during that time, all I had was the word, because I had grown up in church, and I thought that I was a woman of faith. And I was like, I can get through this. But it was so heavy. It was so much that I didn't know if I could. So I had to take it day by day by day. And all I had was the word. And I began to dig into the word. It became my life. I was the word. I was digging in it. I was just trying to find answers. I was just trying to find a way out of the situation that I was in. But during that time, it was like God started to perform surgery on me. He was digging in and getting into those wounds and those hurts and those pains, and teaching me how to forgive, telling me that in order for me to be able to move forward, I had to release. I had to release uh, those people, those things that had hurt me, those disappointments. All of that had to be released. So day by day, step by step, I began to release those burdens. I began to release those things. Yeah, no, it wasn't easy at all. It was very, very tough. And I couldn't even talk about it. Um, I'm at the point now where I can even talk about these things. So during that time of the surgery, um, God also dug into my heart. And his word says that he will give you remove the stony heart and give you a new heart. So he gave me a new heart. He gave me a new heart for people. He gave me a new heart for life. And he began to work in me. So that's just the beginning of some of the things that started me on my journey. So I say that I am God's masterpiece. I'm his perfect creation because in Ephesians 2 it says, we we are God's masterpiece, he created us to do good things that he planned for us long, long ago. And that goes with the scripture you see a lot, that Jeremiah 29 and 11, God knows the plans that he has for you. Um, that coincides with that. So the next thing I want to talk to you about is some people ask me, what qualifies you? What qualifies you to have this show? What qualifies you to talk before people? Well, I'm glad you asked me. Well, what's funny is I don't think I'm qualified because I, I'm not that smart. I'm not smart enough to be able to get here. But what has happened is sometimes you have to allow your path to flow and you begin to walk in the flow because the word says that your steps are ordered by God. And in order for that to happen, you have to allow him to do that. Take step by step by step. So, in saying that, um, I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer, but you know, God has put a plan in me, and I'm beginning to walk in it. So that's that one. Let's go to the next one. All right, what is the premise of the show? The premise of the show is um, basically I'm here to help people understand the challenges that I faced. And in those challenges, I began to understand about the spirit, the soul, and the body. And my goal is to allow you and help you to understand that you have a power that God has already placed on the inside of you. But in order to get to that power, you have to understand it. You have to understand what the spirit is, what the soul is, and what the body is. And I'll talk about that for a little bit. But in other programs, we're going to dive more into it. And here we're going to talk about a lot of different things. We're going to talk about life, life experiences. We have some really good folks coming on board, but I don't want to get ahead of myself. So, the premise of the show is to talk about spirit, soul, and body, and how understanding and growing in those areas will impact everything in your life, everything that you do, because you will gain a new perspective, you will gain a new understanding, and you can live a life of victory. I'm talking real victory. I'm not talking about church victory. I'm not talking about half-hearted victory. I'm talking about putting putting problems away, speaking to mountains and having them move. I'm talking about real stuff that God has already promised us. But sometimes we don't understand it and we don't flow in it. We don't flow in it because we don't understand it. So, my goal here is to um, help individuals take those steps one by one. And this is my journey too. As I get revelation, as I get understanding, I'm passing that on to you. And as you grow, you help me grow. You help me understand. And this is a connection. This is going to be an interactive thing. This is not just going to be me um, giving, but I'm going to give and you're going to give back to me. And we're going to flow in that rhythm. So I'm excited about that. I'm ready for it. And I'm just ready for the next level. Okay. So, yeah. So, as you can see, this is my first show. So, I just ask that you would have grace. uh, it's, uh, it's exciting, it's fun, but I'm trying to find my rhythm here. So, just have grace and um, give me your feedback, give me your comments, and everything. So, in a few minutes, we'll take a break because I have some more information I'd like to share with you. So, the next thing we're going to dive into is I talked about what qualifies me, who I am, where I come from, and the premise of the show. So, the next segment I want to talk about is this is a brand new year, and some of my fellow Stunner Radio personalities have already they've had some good shows talking about manifesting your goals, things that you can do for 2022, and they are awesome. Those are excellent points that they've made. I don't want to repeat those, but I want to add to that. Uh, we're going to do a collaboration. They don't know it, but we're going to collaborate on this. So there are some things that I like to talk about. Um, there's 8 things. And the reason I have 8 is because 8 is the number of new beginnings. And since this is January and this is a new beginning, this is a new year, I think it'd be appropriate that I have 8 things. So let's talk about, you know, our current life situation. The pandemic is in play right now. Um, it has turned a lot of people's lives upside down. However, there are some people in 2020, I was already dealing with some struggles. I was already in the midst of a lot of changes. So the big change that a lot of other people faced, I really didn't face. I did have to deal with the pandemic, but I was already being challenged on every front. So the thing about the pandemic, what happened, I believe, is that you had it happen on an international level. People who may have never had the struggles and some of the challenges that some of us may face every day um, got in on it. So it was very difficult for everyone. And believe me, I'm not making light of it at all. Um, so, one of the things, these 8 things are not in any particular order, but one of the ones that I did want to bring up is, sometimes we talk about how do we get back to normal? What's normal? Well, let me introduce you to the new normal. This is the new normal. This is probably how things are going to unfold. We're going to have to make changes in our own lives, how we're going to go forward. Um, a lot of times we always think about the good old days, what it used to be. Um, but we have to learn to face the challenges, face face forward, and deal with what's at hand. Um, I'll give you an example of that. When I started the job that I have, I was not thrilled about it. Um, because, like I said, I come from a corporate environment. I was used to, you know, um, not having a punch a clock coming in, during the time that I was subscribed to come in, however. But it was just a different environment. It's a warehouse environment. I don't get to dress up. Sometimes I'm just a mess, but um and it was challenging to me. It was challenging because it was a physical job. It is it is very mentally challenging, plus on top of everything else that was going on with me in my personal life. But one day I was at work and I was standing in the lunch area, and there's a map there, and on the map it had a big red button like the ones you see when you go to the mall, and it's a it's a diagram of the mall, but there's a red button that says you are here. And that struck me. I was like, you are here, you are here. And it was like, I had to reconcile, this is where I am right now. Let me deal with where I am. Let me deal with what is current. Stop wishing, stop hoping, and stop praying about what it used to be, where I used to do. And because used to be and used to do is not here right now. I have to deal with what I got going on right now. And at that moment, something was released in me. And I was able to go to work and deal with it and have a better attitude. And that doesn't mean that I didn't look forward to change. It didn't mean that I wasn't trying to progress where I was, but it meant that I'm not fighting it anymore. I'm not fighting the fact that I'm at this particular job and I'm going like, I'm educated. I know I'm employable. I can get certain things, but everywhere I put out a resume, it never panned out. Nothing ever happened. So back to what I was saying, you are here. We are here in this time. We are here. We have to deal with what's going on. We may have to make some adjustments in our own lives, in our own way of thinking. So, um, one thing I want to give to you, and sometime when I said it was an interactive show, what I mean is um, I may say some things. I may, quote a scripture, and because time doesn't allow a lot of times for me to maybe tell you the whole scripture, um, I provided some tools for you, but we'll talk about those in a minute. But what I was saying is, we are in a new normal. So there's a scripture in Malachi that says, in Malachi 3:6 says, I am the Lord and I change not. So we can be certain of one thing, that God hasn't changed. This world around us may change. Things may go up, down, flip all around. But there's a constant, and there's a constant that He has not changed. So I want you to meditate on that. The other thing I want to talk about is, in order to manifest the goals and the things that you want, sometimes we have to put aside um, our fears and go forward with the things we want to do. Because the thing that you want, the things that you desire, and Lisa Dene, she has a show, Manifesting Your Goal, and Love Power Radio also talked about goals for the new year. If you go and look at those, they list out a lot of good things, but none of those things can happen if you're not in the right place, if your thinking is not right, if you're not watching the small things. And the small things that I'm talking about is, watch what you say, watch what you're listening to. Be careful of the people that are around you. Uh, that's so critical. That's so important. When I was in the midst of the challenge that I had, sleeping on the couch, uh, not knowing what my tomorrow was, having uncertainty, kind of like how some people are feeling right now. You don't know what's going to go on. You don't know what the next step is going to be. I had to guard my eyes, guard my ears, and be very careful who I talked to, what I was saying out of my mouth. I was not saying I'm not going to make it. I was not saying I don't know what my future holds. I might have thought it, but I never spoke it out of my mouth, because in the back of my mind, I knew that there was something better for me. I didn't know how to get to it. I didn't know how I was going to get there, but I knew that there was something better for me. So when you're looking at those goals that you wrote down, or the ones that you put in your digital space or whatever it is, begin with small things. Begin with not not saying the wrong things. But that's just not enough to not say the wrong things. You got to start saying the right things. What are the right things? I will reach my goals. I will make it. I will do what I said I would do. There's one thing I always say is the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. Because the way that you reach your goals is the way you're going to build a business. The way that you sit down and study is the way you're going to pass the class. You take one step at a time. You look at it. You meditate on it. It's just one step at a time. Um, a lot of people do multitasking. I'm not a big fan of that because what I end up doing is having a lot of things going on and nothing finished. I like to finish what I start. Lisa Dene, how are you? That's a good point, she says. Thank you, Lisa. So, um, the next thing that I like to talk about, that's two, we got a couple of more, is, let me get to it. Let me get to it. Bear with me, people. Bear with me. This is a big one, I think. Well, I got two big ones. I got two big ones. This one is hope and expectation. Because in the new year, I was talking to somebody and I was like, child, I ain't seen you all year. How you doing? And they was like, I'm doing all right. I said, well, what's going on this year? What you got planned? Oh, nothing. I mean, same old stuff. I said, you're not hoping for something? You don't have any plans? No, nothing. So my answer to that is you got to have hope and expectation. You got to have hope and expectation. Some people say, well, if I don't hope for nothing, I won't get disappointed. But if you don't hope for nothing, you're not going to get nothing. So I say, and on the same side of that, there's a scripture that says, hope deferred makes the heart sick. So when you have disappointments and 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 it kind of messes with you, but you got to still hope. You still got to put when it says, but a sudden good break can turn life around. So you got to put your hope out there. You got to put the expectation out there. So, and the thing about hope, this is good. This is good. The thing about hope is the foundation of faith because faith is the substance of things hoped for. So when you start with hope, you start to build up to faith. Sometimes people say, well, I don't have enough faith. Everybody got the same faith. The same faith. I'm going to give you a secret. Come on, let me tell you. God works on a seed system. That's why he say you need the faith the size of a mustard seed. Seed system. Remember that, seed system. And I'm going to talk about that. But the seed system, if you have hope will help your faith because hope is the substance. The substance means that's what faith is made out of. It's made out of hope. You got to start hoping and then it'll build your faith. Everybody got the same amount of faith. It's a muscle. If you don't use it, you got to stretch it. You got to believe for something. So I challenge you to have some hope and expectation for 2022 because there's good things that can come this year. The next thing I want to talk about, the next point is I don't know, but I'm saying it. Purpose to be better. Purpose to be better. One of the things I've always done, I always challenge myself every year, every day actually. I challenge myself to say, can I be better than I was yesterday? Can I be a better woman than I was last year, last month? Challenge yourself to be better. Be a person of excellence. There's a scripture that says in Colossians 3:23, whatever you do, whatever work you do, whatever you do, work with all your heart as if you're working for the Lord. Now, if you're not working for the Lord or if you're not on his team, this does not apply to you. But be a purpose to do better, set an intention to do better. Because what that does is all these hopes and dreams, all these things that you want to manifest, you got to get down to the small things. The small thing is doing better. I'll give you an example. Um, Sometime like you want to do better at the small things. One, okay, you go to the grocery store, you put stuff in your cart. You got some meat, you got some bread. You go down to canned food, you got some canned food, and one of those packages of meat, you looked at it and you like, dang, this thing went up so much. I don't want to buy this. So what you do is you take it out your cart and you stick it on the shelf right where you are. That might be the canned food shelf. It might be the cereal shelf, but you put that frozen food on the canned food shelf and you walk away. I think we can do better. I think we can do better. Um, so my point is purpose to do better. Don't do that. Do something better. Make a better choice. Take the food when you're going back around and stick it over there with the bacon and all the other stuff, so that the next person, when the worker comes, they just gonna pick it up and they might put it on back over there, and the next person comes and they pick it up and they got bad food, and now the store has a bad reputation because we don't make the best choices to do things. I'm just trying to say this is the small things. It's the small things where we can do better. Purpose to do better. Purpose to do better at your work. Purpose to do better. Um, One big thing we could purpose to do better is being on time. Let's try to be on time. I was notoriously late. I used to be notoriously late, but I purposed in my heart to do better. And it's the small things. I said, okay, I can do better. What do I need to do? Do I need to get my stuff ready earlier? Do I need to clear my calendar? Whatever it is you need to do to be on time, let's I think we can do that. The other thing is we can purpose to do better with is I said be on time and try to do things in excellence. Try to do things the very best you can. Even on your job. Even on your job. I know it's some crazy people. It's some you might work with some crazy people. Your boss might be crazy. The whole line going up might be crazy. But if it's not your company, there are rules that you have to adhere to. I'm sorry. But you can do better. You can do excellent. You can be a person of excellence. Excellence will carry you further than being extra. So you can choose if you're going to be extra or you're going to be excellent. That's a choice that you have to make. And choosing that, you will see that that list that you have of things that you want to accomplish will become better. And by the time you get to where you want to be, you ain't got to try to be excellent. You have already started being excellent. So it becomes a trait, it becomes a character trait. You are developing character traits. I'm not just saying this because um, I'm trying to take digs at people or I'm all that. I'm not. I face many challenges, but I always challenge myself to do better. So that's that one. The next one, this one is a big one. This is a big one. This is a big one. Y'all know that song? Put some respect on my name. Put some respect on my name. Well, in order for you to uh, make uh, meet your challenges, meet your goals, you have to begin as a believer, as a person, a churchgoer, whatever you want to call yourself, as a believer. I'm a believer. I take that back. I'm not just a believer. I don't believe in God. I believe God. I believe his word. I believe that he is able to do everything he said he can do. And here in this setting, in this show, my goal is to help you to understand that You can have it if God says you can have it. But we have to take care of the small things. There's something that we have to do. We can't always go to God and asking him to do everything. Let me say, the the most exciting thing about it is he's already done it. Everything that you think you're supposed to have and all the stuff you're supposed to do is already done. I like to say it like this: my tomorrow was God's yesterday. He already walked it. He already know. He already done the stuff that we trying to do. That's why he says your steps are ordered. We can't be doing it our way. We got to do it his way. His way is the way. Okay, so back to saying, put some respect on God's name. Start to honor him. Start to respect him. And that is the highest, that is the highest, what's the word I'm looking for? That's the highest thing that you can do is respect him, honor him. We won't respect. It's people that died in the street because they disrespected somebody. It's people that have lost their lives, lost relationships because they have disrespected somebody. It's people ain't speaking to each other right now because they disrespected each other. We won't respect. We won't respect from the people we work with. We won't respect from our children. We won't respect from people that we go in a store and you're a customer. You don't want to be disrespected. So, and we have to learn this is a seed. In order for us to be respected, we have to start respecting people. And ultimately, we have to respect God. He is the one who deserves our respect. One thing I want to say is uh, there's a scripture, a lot of people put it out there to say, put God first place. Put God first place. And that's very important. I don't deny that. I have nothing against that. We should. But I want to move us to another level. I want to move us from putting God first place to making God be, well, how do I say it? God does not take first place. God is the only thing in your life. He is your life. He becomes your life because you live and breathe and have your being within him. So you don't make your agenda around him. You start to do things where he is first. And we're going to talk more about that. I'll break that down, make it in edible pieces because that's a big chunk. So put some respect on his name. You want respect? Give him some respect. So, all right. We got a lot more to cover. Don't worry. Don't worry. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. I want to go back to, and forgive me if I'm going out of order. I'm a little warm. I'm sorry. I want to go back to, I don't think I said everything I wanted to say. Oh, the other one. Okay, the other one is gratitude. We got to have gratitude. I'm gonna tell you what happened. I'm gonna tell you a story. I got a couple of them, but I'm gonna give you this one. I was working one day, and I work in an environment where, uh, boxes come down the line, and it's a conveyor belt. And I was working, and there's on the conveyor belt there was a phone. I was like, "Whoa, how'd that get there?" I don't even know how I survived because you seen your luggage in the airport. It's rough. It come down that thing and they just throw it around. I don't even know how that phone survived, but it did. It was in very good working condition, no scratches or anything. So I picked up the phone, and of course, now the phones are locked. So since it was iPhone, I told Siri to send me a text, and I gave her my number, and Siri text me and call me. So that way I was able to get the person's phone number. So anyway, long story short, I took the phone And later on, the phone, I had turned it off because I didn't want the battery to go dead. But um, I showed my coworker, I was like, look, somebody left their phone. I'm going to try to see if I can send them a message. And I was like, duh, you can't send a message because I got the phone. But anyway, um, they, okay, I had the phone, and later, about 30 minutes or so later, it started going off, like find my phone. And it said, find my phone, call this number. So it was about time for me to get off work. So um, I called that number. Then I turned the phone off. I took it up to security. I put the phone, I wrapped it in plastic wrap so it'd be safe and secure. I put a note in there and I said, I found your phone, blah, 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 whatever. Gave it to security, took the person's name so I know who I gave it to. Because, you know, when you change in shifts, the next person don't care. But anyway, gave it to security, walked out the door, went home. Okay. I get in my car and my phone rings. And I knew that it was the phone number because I had just called that number. So the lady, first thing she said was, who is this? I'm like, okay, you calling me. But I began to explain to her. I said, I found your phone. She's like, oh, that's my daughter's phone. Da, 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 da. I said, okay, well, this is what I did. I took the phone, I put it in, da, da, da. I gave it to this, and I named the person I gave it to. I said, I would suggest that they go get it now because if they change shifts, you don't know who's going to have it. Okay, hung up. Never heard from them again. Now, if that was me, because, you know, phones aren't cheap. And if it was me, we depend so much on our phones. We have so much information on our phones, all these different apps that we're dealing with. But if it was me, I would have found out who turned in my phone. I have to appreciate them. I have to say thank you. I have to say something. But you know, it's just my point is gratitude. People aren't grateful. You have to be grateful. Gratitude opens the door for more. When you begin to, um, okay, let me say it like this. People start a business and they want to do things and they have goals and people want to make six figures and you know all of those things and that's great. That's awesome. I think it's incredible. I think people should shoot for the best. But you have to start where you are. You have to start to be grateful for what you have and not always coveting what other people have and not always coveting for more likes or more people or more this or more that. Start where you are. Be grateful for what you are. Some people have a business and they have followers and all of that, and they're not even supporting the 100, the 50, the 200, the 1,000, the 5,000 people that they have now, but they want 5 million. They want that, you know, that's extreme, but they want 2, 4, or 5,000 followers. You have to manage what you have. You have to be grateful for where you are. And that gratitude opens the door for more. So that's one of the things that I wanted to say towards meeting your goals, doing the things um, that's going to take you to the next level. All right. So we talked about gratitude. We talked about respect. We talked about having hope and expectation. We've got a purpose to do better. We talked about fear. Well, I called it the new normal, but fear. But one thing I want to say about fear is the thing you fear becomes your God. Whoa, 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 whoa. That's big. That's big. That's big. That's too big. Let me break it down a little bit. Because you allow that thing to captivate you and you focus so much on that thing that you become obsessed with it. uh, I'm afraid. I'm afraid to do this. I'm afraid to do that. I'm sitting before you today, fear and trembling. I'm afraid, but the thing on the other side of this is greater than my fear. I want my goals. The the message I want to carry is greater than my fear and it's greater than me. So sometimes we have to push forward even in our fear. We have to move forward in our fear and don't allow, this came to my head, don't allow Satan to bully you, because he uses fear, worry, and all that to bully you. Y'all know what bullying is. They had a whole campaign about it for the kids in school, you know, the cyberbullying and uh, all that stuff. So don't allow him to bully you. You got to stand up. And the reason I talk about spirit, soul, and body is when you start to understand that your spirit, okay, before I get into that, I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I talked about all my 8 points, but let me come back to the show. Let me come back to the premise of the show about spirit, soul, and body. I want to talk about it very, very briefly, but I'm going to get more into it in a little bit as we progress. I won't get too heavy on this. But what I want to share with you tonight is spirit, soul, and body. Your spirit is the thing that changed when you accepted that Christ would be the ruler and Lord of your life. That's the part that changed. You might have gone and looked in the mirror and said, there's a song, that we used to sing in the Baptist church. Oh, my hands look new, my face look new, my feet look new too. It might have looked new, but you still had the same face. You still had the same fingers, the same everything on the outside. But what's new is your spirit. It's perfect. Your spirit is perfect. The spirit is the core of you. Your soul is what I'm talking to now. I'm looking at your soul. You're looking at mine, my personality. Our 5 senses make up our soul. Our touch, feel, what we can hear. Those things are in our soul area. And we know what our body is. This is our body. So spirit, soul, and body are important. And so a third of you is perfect. The journey begins when you work on the other parts of you. When you begin to renew your mind. Renewing your mind is a process. You renew it and you renew it and you renew it. It's a daily walk. It's something you have to do all the time because we're human, we're flawed. And the thing I want to also say is when we make mistakes, be quick to repent. Be quick to go back and say, I'm sorry, or Lord, forgive me. Don't hold on to that. Don't hold on to that. All that does is block where you're trying to go. A lot of people are out here dealing with mistakes that they've made in their life many, many years ago that's holding them back. You can't allow that to happen because you'll stay stuck. You'll stay stuck. And I don't want you to be stuck. I've been stuck. I've been in a dark place. I don't want you to do that. My goal is to help you, is to help you understand as we walk this journey together. I think more will be revealed. I want to move into another little area before we finish up. There's going to be a segment where there's 3 things that I would like to happen here. I like to challenge. I like to inspire to action. I'd like to give you the tools. And I know with those things, you're going to be transformed. I know that the small things, the small changes, you're going to start to see differences in your life because it happened to me. It happened to me. It didn't happen like overnight. It didn't happen on a huge, large scale. But I'm telling you, you make small changes, you start doing small things. Before you know it, you will be changed. Your life will be different. You will be living a life of victory every day. Every mountain in your life is going to be moving. Everything that you want, you will have. And the only way to get there is to take step by step by step. And we're going to do that here. We're going to do that here. So I have a couple of announcements. Yay. A couple of announcements. And I know it's early. I know it's the first show. I know it's the first show. But I'm telling you, I got some fire. It's going to be some fire coming. Fire coming. One of the things I like, we're, we're going to have a community. If you can go out on Facebook, there's a community out there. And I have a listening challenge. I have a listening challenge because I don't think this is a one and done situation. This is a process because you have to renew your mind with a process. There's going to be a guest that's going to come on to help us. We're going to have some live interactions. We're going to have people who are experts in their areas. So, and I need you to bring the questions. I need to know what it is that you're looking for. I need to know what's that challenge that you're having so we can answer that. We can get to that. So there's a listening challenge. And I think I would like for you to participate. And the way you participate is you need to subscribe. You need to go on to the Kathy Brooks Show Instagram. You can click on my bio, and there is an option for you to join the community. There's an option for you to see my Facebook page, and there's a lot of other things in there. There's going to be a giveaway for the listeners, and I'll be putting out what the rules are going to be. And I do have the prize right here with me. Should I show it now? You think I should show it now? You want to see what it is? Okay, cool. I'll show you. It's going to be can you see that? This is going to be the prize for the person that listens, because I'm going to do a drawing. It's going to be over a period of time. I'll be putting out the rules. So that's coming. That's coming. The next thing is the listening challenge. Oh, also, because I said I'm going to have tools, I have some freebies for you. If you go on my Instagram page, click on my bio, you will see there's a link that says freebies. Freebies. Oh, and I'm going to show you what they are. Hold on a second. I'm going to look at my toolbox because I have my toolbox right here. It's a real toolbox. All right. Inside my toolbox, I have these freebies. I don't know if you can see it, but if you go onto that link, you'll get these freebies. And the reason I wanted to do this is because in every episode, there's going to be things that you might want to take note of. And the way it's broken down, I don't know if you can see this or not, but it's today's topic, whatever the episode is. What are the top takeaways? If there's any scriptures that's been in here. If there is any quotes for the day. And then there is also a section where you can take notes. But it's on the screen. You'll see the second one down. It says freebies. And then also, I haven't put the link on there, but there's going to be a giveaway. But you're going to have to click on the listening challenge. You'll see it. It'll be coming up soon. And I'll be posting what the rules are going to be. So we're going to have a listening challenge. And I encourage everybody to get in there because we're going to have some interactive stuff. I don't know if I should tell you guys yet, but it's exciting. I'm so excited to tell you. It's exciting. It's going to be some interactive. Some of the people that's going to come on, I'm going to tell you ahead of time. So you're going to need to say what it is you're looking for. What do you want to do? If you have a business, if you have questions on the business, if you need coaching, we're going to have someone here that's going to do it and we're going to pick one of you to be a part of it. And the only way to do that is I need to hear from you. I need to know what it is you need so that we can make that possible. But log on to get connected with Stunner Radio. I know you guys already are. Um, Subscribe to my Instagram. I also have YouTube, and like I said, the Facebook. So we're just about come to the end. I'm so glad we had this time together. And we're coming to the end. And I hope that, I know it was a little scattered and all over the place. I do have my notes here. I did make notes. But the challenge for me today was doing this solo. I didn't want it to be like a monologue. I wanted to talk to you all to let you know who I am and where I came from and what I would like to do with the show. And I can't do it alone. I need your help. I need your input. And I think it's going to be absolutely fantastic. And I think that in the year 2022, as long as we have our goals and we are going in the direction of those goals and we are meeting our challenges, we will win. We will win on every front. We will win. We will win. And I want to hear the victories. I want to hear everything that you guys are doing. And please feel free to connect with me. So, in closing, there's something I always like to say because we talk about the spirit, soul, and body. I want to wish that above everything, above all the things that you have, that you will prosper in your health as your soul prospers, as you learn, as you grow, that you will prosper in all that you do. With that being said, I think it's time for me to sign off. I think it's been a great show, and I will see you all next time. Remember, I'm not here every Sunday. I'm here on the second and the fourth Sunday. Thank you so much, Miss Lisa Dene. That made me think about one thing, and I want to share before I leave. I was telling Lisa, I said, this is a big responsibility. I'm really shaking in my boots about this. And I was sharing with her some of the fears that I was having. And then when I went home, when I started thinking about it, I was like, don't allow these fears to overtake you. But the biggest takeaway I got was, the Lord was like, when I call people for purpose and I have purpose for them, a lot of people walk around saying, it's my purpose. I've been called for purpose, and you have, and you're absolutely right. But sometimes we forget that we are co-laborers with Christ. In all my infirmities, in all the things that I have shortcomings on, all the things, I may not say things perfectly. I may not look the best. I may not be the best at this, but God will use my weaknesses and he will cover me because I'm a co-laborer with him. This is his show. And he gives me the things that I need to do in order to prepare. So when I talked about fears earlier, the thing that you want, ask and allow God to be your co-laborer. He will cover you in the areas where you are weak. And that's why sometimes when you have a lot of talent, when you have a lot of things that you know how to do, sometimes you're more dependent on you than on him. We need to be dependent on him. And that's absolutely what I am. I'm 100% dependent on him. So with that being said, I want to sign off. I want to say good night, but it's not goodbye. I will be seeing you next. The next show will be posting when it is. I'm not the best with dates, so I don't want to tell you the wrong date. But I'll see you next time. Goodbye, everybody.